Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Mariano Doms, the author of the ebook titled Any Model Anywhere. And this is video number 6 in the training course. I decided to make a training course out of these videos, and hopefully it'll reach to 100 videos because I have a lot of content. All this is based on the ebook, once again titled Any Model Anywhere. So the last video was on the psychology of professionalism, focused on the photographer, the mindset the photographer has to have. What I talked about was a little bit about an overview of the ethics and the manners and those type of things, the way he looks at his craft and the photo session and the model. So this is on the flip side now. This is on the model side. This is what I call the model mindset. Okay, so understanding women has been a big boost for me personally in my photography. The more I understood women, the better I got as a photographer, because the intimidation level really decreased. Working with so many models, especially attractive women, or just women in general, but when they're all dolled up, painted. Well, I mean, with makeup and stuff, but in the clothing and stuff, they become more attractive, right? And it can be easy to be intimidated by that. So when you understand that women in general have the same kind of fears and concerns that men do, well then they are just regular people, just very attractive regular people. So let me talk a little about why women do photo sessions, right? So one of the big reasons women do photo sessions is because they get to try out different identities. They already play dress up, at home in front of the camera, with clothing and accessories and those type of things, hats and those type of things, right? So in the photo session, she gets to actually not only try them out, but to actually have proof of the different identity. Well, she puts on one thing and she looks like this, and she puts on another thing. Now she's a different identity, right? So that's one of the big things, just trying out different identities, because we're always trying to find out who we are, right? Men and women alike. So that's one of the big things, just finding out how she looks in different clothing, right? So I'm trying to point out what she really appreciates is an informed decision, an informed opinion about fashion. So if the photographer is knowledgeable about fashion, then she will respect his opinion, and if he can kind of suggest what looks better on her, what doesn't look so good on her, then I think the photographer has done a good job in that sense of the identity part, right? So and in the ebook I talk about, details to look at in regards to making her look better. I go into very specific things about how to make the model look better, because that's part of our responsibility, to make the model always look her best. Not just with poses and not just with the camera, but also in the fashion know-how. You don't have to be an expert, but you do have to know some stuff. You have to know enough to give her an informed opinion, a good opinion, right? So the other part of the reason why women do photo sessions is that they just love to be noticed. They just love to be noticed. They love to be seen in general, right? They love to show off her style. She likes to show off her style. That's part of her expression, part of her identity. Her good taste, she wants to be recognized for her good taste. And once again, she gets through the photography, through the photo session, she has proof of these different identities and proof of her good taste, right? So especially like for 2-3 hours, there is a person who is giving her all that attention in the fashion sense, in the posing sense, and listening to her, what her opinion about these style choices are, even makeup and accessories. So it's about the attention as well, and that's a lot of what this ebook is about. How do you give the model that attention? How do you direct her? How do you communicate with her? Um, and this is all, once again, about giving them good attention, because ultimately you want great results, and you want the model to feel like she had a really great session. And if you don't give her that attention in terms of, like, communicating well with her, or giving her informed opinions, once again, then she might not feel like she had a good photo session. She might have, good photographs, but if she had a great photo session as well, then that's even better, because, well, then she'll recommend you to, friends and all. Okay, so that's the second one. The first one was, once again, the trying out different identities, just trying out different identities through wardrobe and accessories. And then the second part is the attention, just getting concentrated attention, especially, on her beauty and the poses and her style choices, her fashion choices, right? So the third one is competition. She is competing, just like men compete against other men. She is competing with other women, through intelligence and through beauty, right? And the beauty will come not only physical, but, well, yes, physical, but, and I don't mean just her looks, but I mean her fashion choices, once again, right? So how she combined this with that, that's part of the competition as well, beauty competition. That's why women are always learning how to apply makeup better, because they are competing with other women, and they're always bringing their game up. So once again, it's good for the photographer to have an informed opinion. That's why he has to do his homework as well. And in the ebook, I talk about some very specific tips on helping her look better, because, once again, that's our responsibility as a photographer, always make her look her best. So that's the third point. The third point is the competition part. Women compete just as men do. Women will compete against other women for that attention, maybe a specific person, or just, men in general. Okay, so those are like three motivators of why she does the photo session, why she does modeling, or when I mean modeling, just, amateur modeling. And I want to share some other things. Oh, the other thing is another one. Just to participate in something glamorous, a photo session. You have there's that association of glamour with it. For her, it's somebody who's paying attention to her, photographing her, telling her how she looks, giving her compliments, and then especially a photographer who has maybe a studio, maybe lights, maybe professional equipment, even a camera. Well, that's adding to the glamour, and she wants to be a part of that. So that would be the fourth reason, just for the glamour of it. And number five was, it's just maybe for novelty, maybe just a new and fun experience, right? Sometimes, she has nothing better to do. As simple as that. Sometimes she has nothing better to do. And if you contact somebody about, spending some time to do a photo session, and maybe it's on a Saturday, well, maybe she just has nothing better to do. It's a new and fun experience. And it is fun. It is a good, fun experience. And it should always be. So that's the novelty of it. I think did I say 4 or 5? Because number 5 is just to have somebody to photograph her. She's always taking selfies of herself, but it's good to have somebody, at a further distance than your arm to, photograph you. So just the practicality of it, having somebody to actually just photograph you. So I think that's number 5. And I want to point this out, that I was talking about the glamour part of it, the lighting and the equipment, and that may all seem glamorous, but I think at the end of the day, especially at an amateur level, especially just starting out level, even though I've mentioned before, you really should go for professional results. Excuse me. I think at this level, she is more concerned about looking good and feeling good and having a great experience than, having a being in a studio or having, these lights in front of her, these professional quality lights or professional quality camera. So at this point, and what the ebook really talks mostly about is the interaction with the model. So having a great experience, but still taking good photographs, really great photographs actually, with the poses and such. That is probably more important than the lighting or being in a studio, right? So that's why I say at this point, focus more on that. And then, of course, learn more about lighting and such. So some of her concerns, number one, is that she's not photogenic. So I think that and that's the main concern of a lot of people, right? About being photogenic. So let's say she does agree to do a photo session with you. She may still have that concern that she's not photogenic. But a competent photographer will demonstrate that she does look good on camera. Excuse me. And I go into specifics in the ebook about how to go about that, how to make her look good, how to suggest poses and fashion choices to actually make her be photogenic. So where she might have felt that she wasn't photogenic and she still decided to do a session with you, you will have proven to her and trained her, in a sense, through what you teach her, to be photogenic, right? So the second one is possible misuse of the photos. That's the second concern in the list. I think there are 10. Possible misuse of the photos. So there you have to really kind of build her trust. And there's different ways to go about that. For example, references and just getting to know each other, right? The third one is the photographer's credibility, and that kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with the possible misuse. But you do have to show that you're a credible person, and that in references, and that you have friends in common, and show her where you're going to post your work. For example, if you have a blog, or if you have modeling site or photography site, showing where it is that you post your work, right? And then obviously explaining what the purpose of the photos are. If it's to become a better photographer, and that's kind of the point, right? But she just wants to know that they're not going to end up, in the wrong hands or in the wrong place, right? Number 4, general insecurity about her looks or figure, So once again, through good angles, through good poses that she may not be familiar with, even though she takes selfies and such, she may not be familiar with certain angles of herself, so you provide that for her. Specific insecurity or defect, mostly in her mind. She's really insecure about a very specific thing. So with poses and such, you'll also help her overcome that. The next one is not knowing her best angles, and once again, you'll prove that. And the next one is not knowing how to pose. You'll be teaching her to pose. Wondering what she looks best in. I think this is number 8. And that's where the photographer helps her look her best. Colors that complement her, once again, that's the same thing. Physical self-consciousness about physical anxiety, such as stiffening of the body, tension, and sweaty palms. So a good photographer helps her overcome that physical anxiety. If you see me rushing, it's because I'm looking at time. So once again, my name is Mariano Doms, and I'll leave links to more videos.